It doesn't sound like much sacred storytelling, but it's really profound and deep. The first question from anybody is, what makes the story sacred? What makes it sacred is that it's real life experiences that had a profound life changing moment or longer than a moment that is shareable with other people to pull them into the sacredness. And sacred is just a higher level of responsibility, consciousness, high respect. So if you're telling a story and you want it to be a sacred story, that needs to be a story about sacred experience.
Hello, I'm your host, Colleen Akiko, and this episode wraps up the We Be the Change series, A Red Heart, with my dear friend, shamanic elder, and certified Heartmath trainer, Jim Eaglesmith, also known as Jimi G. Do you ever wonder what makes a story sacred and what your sacred stories might be? By now, you know that Jimmy's had some huge challenges, including getting struck by lightning. Yet you will hear how he keeps showing up for a very purposeful life, and how you can too. You can reach out to Jimi as well as share your thoughts and access a free gift and bonus content, plus some extras that Jimi has to share through the website SongRise.LIVE. That's SongRise.LIVE. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And thanks for joining our conversation. I'm your host, Colleen Akiko, and this episode wraps up the We Be the Change series, A Red Heart, with my dear friend, shamanic elder, and certified Heartmath trainer, Jim Eaglesmith, also known as Jimi G. Do you ever wonder what makes a story sacred and what your sacred stories might be? By now, you know that Jimmy's had some huge challenges, including getting struck by lightning. Yet you will hear how he keeps showing up for a very purposeful life, and how you can too. You can reach out to Jimi as well as share your thoughts and access bonus content and some extras that Jimi has to share through the website SongRise.LIVE. That's SongRise.LIVE. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And thanks for joining our conversation. When you say to step out of the body, to listen,
They call it witness state.
yes, for me, that translates spatially. It feels like in order to hear in that way, I somehow broaden, and it might just be a personal thing for me, but I had this little subtle hint that, oh, I need to go into the awareness of this. Knowing that the awareness is not separate from me, it's not, oh, out of the body, oh, into the awareness. It's not like I've jumped from one pool to another pool, but I'm somehow expanding. So my awareness is understanding the moment in a way that is free to take the pause and experience the presence, and from that place, speak or not speak, whatever is best in the next moment. I don't know what to call it, but when I am seeking guidance or help in any way, and I'm in the stillness, oftentimes I don't know if I physically hear it or if I hear it in another way, but there's an effervescence, like a sparkliness. When I get still enough, it's always there. When I get still enough in a seeking way, a surrendered way, and I come in that way, it seems to be, for me, that I guess the closest word I can find is like an effervescent sound of some sort. Always flowing, always fresh, and yet ancient and all-knowing at the same time. I would love to have you speak a little bit about the sacred storytelling because that is something that is coming up really strong for me and for others as being very helpful in what we are experiencing in this time. Sacred storytelling.
It doesn't sound like much, sacred storytelling, but it's really profound and deep. The first question from anybody is, what makes the story sacred? And I guess I could just say that it comes from, is it fictional or non-fictional? What makes it sacred is that it's real life experiences that had a profound life-changing moment or longer than a moment that is shareable with other people to pull them into the sacredness. And sacred is just a higher level of responsibility, consciousness, high respect. There's a lot of ways to describe what is sacred.
Could I add into that my understanding of sacred storytelling as also having depth, meaning of the soul, and the impact of the event that is propelling the story?
And it's life-changing.
Yeah, it came from a deep soul place, and it affects us from that same place.
So dropping back to some of those stories that I was sharing off the grid, the firewalks, those are sacred moments in life that added up to a story that is a sacred story.
Yeah.
So if you're telling a story and you want it to be a sacred story, that it needs to be a story about sacred experience. Does that make sense?
It does. At the same time, it could be on a shallow level. The story could be about an event that's not that exciting or deep. And yet there's something about it that I would just speak from my own life that brought me to a deeper place. So yeah, it got sacred later.
Later on it did.
Yes, not in that moment. Yeah. And that is often the case.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. That kind of embraces it. I've been a storyteller all my life, and it's like, I can't hide from it.
I'll tell you a silly story. I don't know if it's a sacred story, but it is definitely instructive. I was out doing errands one day, and I had sweatpants on and just going to the post office, going to the grocery store, walking all over the place, seeing people. Probably made 4 or 5 different stops in town. I came home and I was walking through the laundry room, and I felt something inside by my ankle. And I'm like, what's that? And I opened up the bottom of my sweatpants, and I had wadded up underwear in my sweatpants. I thought, oh my gosh, I've been walking around all over the place with underwear hanging out the bottom of my pants. And the thought came to me, I have no idea of the hanger-oners that I carry around. And it really would behoove me to be more aware of the stuff that sticks to me that I just carry around, and instead of walking around with underwear at the bottom of my pants all day, remove it. So it's not really a sacred story. It's a story that could have some sacred impact if I follow the lesson.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is probably way too silly to share, but so you're in different publications, and I am going to make that available on the bonus information page that we have on the SongRise website. Jimi will gather together all that we can provide to any listeners who want to hear more.
There's more poems and songs.
Yes, poems, songs, writings. You have all kinds of things.
It's a Good Day to Die is on Amazon Prime. And there's 4 other authors with the same title, 4 other books called It's a Good Day to Die. And I didn't know it until I published it.
Yeah.
I should have changed the name to something else that was just by itself. But
no, it's okay. We'll put an image of that on the website so people will see that this is your contribution to a very profound truth and what that means.
Yeah.
How it's translated for you.
It's very autobiographical.
Yeah.
But I think it ends in 2012. It doesn't have much of me working in the school system with the first and last generation kids, and doesn't have Heartmath. But it's a precursor.
And you have your next chapter to put out there. Yeah.
I got to get back in my body.
Yeah.
Get healed and grounded, because the vertigo and the dizziness prevents me from typing, writing, reading, especially online and stuff like that. I get choked up after just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to get back. So I decided not to have heart surgery. The doctor told me that I needed it, but he said the risk to benefit is really high with the other things that I have. And so I decided not to take the risk and to use my life's experience. I'm not going to be 100% like I was a year ago, but I'm going to have to change my diet. I'm riding a bike every other day, just getting more blood flow and stuff like that. So I can still show up for things. I won't be 100%, but at least I'll be able to show up.
Would you be all right if we took a little pause in this moment to provide some space to heart breathe grace to you?
Sure.
Yeah. Imagine standing on a beach with the waves coming in and the waves going out, and knowing that I am in the ocean and the ocean is in me, and that we're all standing together. And I am seeing you in your willingness and your desire and your love for all humanity, for all creation. I am seeing you present and surrendered, willing, all that you have learned, all the ways that you have shown up, many times showing up in ways that required a lot of effort, but you showed up and no one has any idea of the amount of effort required. And you showed up to bring connection. You showed up to bring awakening and joy to so many. And so now I stand with many, sending out to you with these beautiful waves, golden, beautiful light, healing in your heart, in your organs, in every particle of your being, flooded with great love, with light, with appreciation, with life, with gratitude. And we give thanks for this, knowing it is so. Right here. My friend, we could speak on so many different things all day long. I know how you and I get sometimes. Maybe for now, we could close this conversation and invite listeners to comment on what has been shared. And if there's any aspect of any part of your story that they'd like to hear more of, would you be down for coming back and talking on that aspect?
No, I can't do that.
Thank you, Jimi. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
I'll keep you abreast of the comments that come in. And I'd say if anybody wishes to reach out to you, they can just send their question or their comment through the SongRise contact page.
I love us.
I am so glad you were able to join us in this series, A Red Heart with Jim Eaglesmith. We've had quite a rich journey together, haven't we? We heard about how answering the call of integrity opened his third ear listening and set him on the road of sacred service with a red heart. We also explored the power of pause and taking our coherence to a higher level. Jimi spoke as an elder on the significance of this time and the first and last generations now here. And finally, we touched down into sacred story. Did any events or stories that you've heard in this series resonate with your own life? We're glad to offer self-reflective journaling prompts that parallel We Be the Change podcast episodes. They make it easy to dive deeper into the richness of your own being. Make sure to check out all the offerings through the website SongRise.LIVE. That's SongRise.LIVE. I'm your host, Colleen Akiko. Looking forward to seeing you there. Namaste.